All right, so shalom, shalom. First of all, I want to start off by saying Barakatham, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honors into the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole filet. Start with the 144,000, shalom. All right, so Lord willing. All right, this will be a cool episode. Do want to say a few things. I'm watching Elder Apostle Rumline lesson. He posted titled "The Strangers for Dummies," and at the beginning of it, I'm gonna let it play on my TV. I just want you to hear him say this real fast. I'm gonna bring out a few precepts. Let's see. All right, so.
But it kind of slipped my mind.
He kind of going into this Genesis group. They've been think they're going off bad, and kind of the point in it all is the fact of in this truth, right? Understanding that chastisement, chastening, the Most High chastening, and also you can't have no brothers around you if they not correcting you. But ultimately, correction comes from the Lord, right? And Elder Pastor Yes did a lesson, kind of on that a while back. It was probably like a few weeks ago, or about a month ago now. They're talking about when you correct someone, these guys in this world, in their worldly mindset, they see it as if it's coming from just like he coming from a man. It's as if is he trying to belittle me, trying to come at me, right? But when you understand it, this correction, it comes from the Lord, right? It all comes from the Lord, right? And that's why as men of Yahweh Shah, as men of this truth, we have to, real fast, quick precept. Isaiah 46 and verse 8, it says, "Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors." So you gotta remember yourself. You gotta remember yourself as a man. You have a lot of these men who have these feminine ways, have these woman ways where you can't really correct them, where you can't get on them. And I'm just be honest, you got to be humble in this truth, right? The Most High humble you, and you got to be humble for the Most High humble you, right? And with that, when you're saying that, right, you can't be in this truth if you can't accept correction, right? You can't be in this truth. If you always want to rebuttal or things that you understand is that correction comes from the Lord, right? But I'm gonna let you hear this, and then Lord, we're gonna bring out a few precepts real fast, go where the Spirit leads us, right? So
right now, if it comes back, I'll bring it out. But this is the madness that's going on. The flavor of the week or the month. And I was, in the spirit, I was agitated because, here it is. You have these leaders that go back to One West. They know the doctrine that was taught, but it's just like they just allow anything to come up and just, like they don't check anything. For the most part, the majority of those groups out there, outside of Great Millstone and affiliate camps, don't rebuke anybody. They just allow them to do whatever they want. Just let's get along, go along to get along. And it doesn't work like that. True love is shown in rebuke and reproof and admonishment. The scriptures say, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and rebuketh often. So if you're rebuking somebody, because they're going off on the doctrine, then that's showing true love. But it's perceived in this world as hate because this world, has pussified, Jake, into thinking that, if you correct somebody, then you don't really love them,
So that's really kind of the point. Once you hear Lord willing, you was able to hear it clearly. But, how he's saying is how, these camps, they just go along to get along. And, and it's like that. That's why you got so much Jake. You got so many Jake out here. That's why you got so much of these bullshit doctrines going on because, people, they don't continue to stand firm. They don't continue to stand firm. You got to think, man. Paul, these men in this truth, they stood firm for the truth. Men for us, Paul, Peter, they was martyrs for the truth. They stood for the truth, right? And with that standing for the truth, you got to be able to accept rebuking, and Lord willing, you got when the brothers going off or things that such. When you see anybody going off, man, you got to get on them. You can't just let it float about. You can't just let it because a virus is is strong when it's on one person, but it's powerful when it connects to everybody, right? It's like a dirt, you know. Yeah, your mom tell you take the shoes off in the front door because when you come from outside, all that dirt in the bottom of your shoe. She don't want you to bring that dirt all through the house. So we're not gonna allow that dirt, that filth, this bullshit that come all the time. We're gonna tell you, hey, take those shoes off at the door. Hey, take that doctor home. That's not the truth. Stop teaching the name how about how shot if you're gonna go off in that way, you know. But Lord willing, right? Just want to bring out a few precepts, you know. So as a spirit, right? It's already got me in Proverbs. I don't know if I clicked this or what, but I probably did, right? So this is Proverbs 3, right? And we'll start at verse 11. It says, "My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as the father the son, in whom he delighteth," man. Right? So just as well as, you know, if your kid being bad outside, you know, things as such, you're gonna get on them, right? You're gonna get them. You're gonna rebuke them. You're gonna get on them. You're gonna give them a whooping because not because you know you hate him, but because you love him that you don't want him to go wrong. You don't want him to go off. And you know, and as a child, that's how you know these men are you know, they still in a child mindset because a lot of these men don't see it in that way. I talk about the precept, remember yourselves men. A lot of men don't see it. They see it in a childish, feminine mindset. Why you saying this to me? Why he trying to create? He trying to, you know, they're not humble to understand that. No, this is the Lord that correcting you, right? Even you know, as lesson was going, lesson came through the spirit of how the elder was, you know, going. But even also with Jake in general, right? You know, and it's a spirit because I was really thinking about this precept the other day. And Baruch, even Jake in general, man, Jake don't even understand that, you know, this is a correction period that we in right now. Right? Well, you know, this is the mercy of how about y'all shot on us right now. This is Baruch 4, and I started verse 6. Well, I read verse 6, right? It says, "You were sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because you moved Yahweh to wrath, you were delivered to your enemy." And this ultimately who sent into captivity for what? Correction. Chastisement, because why? We moved them to wrath from, matter of fact, let's go back to it, Slacky. You continue reading now, it says, "For you provoked him that," at verse 7, "For you provoked him that made you by sacrifice unto devils and not to Yahweh," right? You know, and that's the problem, right? That was the problem. So Yahweh he had to correct us, right? Because he loved us, right? That's why he said, you know, "You're not one of my servant, but you're my son," right? If you're my son, then the hair, right? That's why we got to endure the suffering, endure the pain, endure the hardship, because it's all built to what? To chasten us, to correct us, right? To get us prepared for us to come to the kingdom. That's why the scriptures always say, you know, the things we go through now, really paraphrase, the things we face now are not compared to the glory that's in front of us, right? Because the suffering, the pain, the hardship, that's all correcting us now. Because when you catch your child being bad now, you correct them, you get him right. When he grow up, he gonna understand that discipline, those things. That's what we building now. That spiritual discipline. That's that milk that Peter's talking about. That's, you know, desiring that sincere milk, man. Desiring that milk, growing into a spiritual man, right? Let's see. But you have those ones who despise it. Like I said, it wasn't gonna be long. I got a few precepts. Let's see, Proverbs 29 and verse 1, right? It says, "He that being often reproved harden his neck shall be suddenly destroyed, that without remedy." So when you reject correction, right, that's why you got to be humble, man. That's why you got to be humble, right? Because when you reject correction and you always want to rebuttal, you always want to go against it, and not, you know, you don't see it spiritually to understand that this correction is coming from you. How about you? How shot? And guess what? You're gonna be destroyed without remedy, man. You're gonna be destroyed. That's why you got to humble yourself, right? Let's see what that's Proverbs. I think it's like not Proverbs. It's Peter. Real fast. 1 Peter 5 and 5. It says, "Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yeah, all of you be subject to one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Yahweh resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble." And that's what it is. A lot of you got too much pride. A lot of you got too much pride, man. You be too proud, right? We know Esau, they the proud. They the proud. That's how they move. As Jake, you got to be humble, man. You know, you know, but Jake don't got that mindset to understand it, because as the elder saying, though, now in the world today, just put out there that, you know, if they trying to get on you, they don't love you. They don't love you. But not even understanding that that's true love, right? What a fact. Open rebuke. Proverbs 25 and 7, right? It says open rebuke is better than secret love, man. Open rebuke is better than secret love. A man getting on you, correcting you, your brother getting on you, correcting you, an elder getting on you, correcting you, it's because, you know, he got true love for you, man. He's trying to help you. He trying to help you, man. He trying to help you because, as the scriptures tell you, the ones who despise that correction, let's go back to it. The ones who despise that rebuking, that correction, they're going to be destroyed without remedy. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to read you that in NLT. Right? Slack it for notifications. Slack it. Proverbs 29 and verse 1. It says, whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. So there ain't gonna be no coming back, right? Ain't gonna be no coming back. I'm telling you, once the Most High humble you, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of living power, man. Once the Most High humble you, you cook. So you want to set that correction now, because when you understand that we're sons of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. When you see that word children in the Hebrews, that means son. We're sons of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the Father gonna correct His Son, right? Because he gonna want us to, we're servants unto righteousness. We're chasing that perfection through the suffering, through the chastening, through the hardship things we're facing. It's molding us into spiritual men of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which in the kingdom we're gonna achieve that perfection. If you can't accept no correction of things now, no, man, Yahweh Shem Yahushua don't want you around. You too prideful. Those pride people, they got too much pride. Pride go right before the fall, right? Scripture tell you, right? Pride come before the fall, right? Let's see. Got another quick precept. Like I said, look, we wasn't gonna be no long one. Yeah. So this Hebrews 12, right? And I start at verse 5, right? It says, "And have you forgotten the extortion which speaketh unto you as unto my children?" Right? Now say, no, it's forgotten the exhortation, Shalakia, which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Right? Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't fall out when you rebuke. Right? Because when you understand it, the Most High put the Spirit on this brother to correct you, or put the Spirit on this brother to get you right. That's those watchmen, that's Israel. Because you got to think, those are those ones who going to receive that first domain in the kingdom, because they got to set the standard. Jake brought a bullshit ass standard in throughout our nation. And that's why, Esau, Edom as well. They're deceiving the people, things as such. And Jake fell into the ways of Esau, Edom, and they brought a bullshit standard to our nation. But we were given a standard of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that is above all these other nations. Right? We're the chosen people of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. A particular people above all the people on the earth. Right? So therefore, we have a different standard of these people. Right? And for us to get back to that standard, we have to, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, He's using that 144,000. They are setting that standard now today. So when you go off, when you do wrong, when you do things, they're going to correct you. It's all coming from the Lord, because the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is upon us, man. You have the Spirit, you understand that. The Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua upon us is why He uses prophet. That's why the Scripture say, when these things come to pass and all these things, like for instance, this group going off things and such, they're gonna know that the prophet will have been among them once they see that ain't no other nation gonna be beat up to the chair, and other nation gonna be delivered and saved from the destruction. They gonna understand. That's why you can't despise the prophet. You can't go again, because the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is upon them to correct and give warning to our nation, right? And to let Esau Edom know that the downfall is coming upon them, man. Right? It says, "For whom the Lord loves, He chasteneth, and scourges every son whom He receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what sons is he whom the Father chasteneth not? For if you be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers, then you are bastards and not sons." So the Most High not even trying to correct you. The brothers was just giving the analogy. The brothers was giving an analogy at the camp the other day. They was using a sport analogy, basically saying, though, if the coach getting on you and correcting you, he coaching you, that's because he see the potential. He knows you can become. You can become something. But if he ain't saying that to you, he's letting you do it up because he don't really care. He don't care about you at all. That's the truth. Yahweh Shem Yahushua telling you that right here. If you be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers, then you are bastards and not sons. Right? You are bastards and not sons, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not dealing with you. You a bastard. You know what a bastard is? A child is unwanted. You a bastard. Your daddy ain't want you. Right? So, Lord willing, I'm read this in the NLT. We close out a little bit. I just want to touch on that, man. You gotta remember yourselves, man. You gotta understand. Most High set those watchmen. They gonna if you in this truth, Right? You got spirit how about y'all shot. You see somebody going off, rebuke them, man. You can't just sit back and let it go on. Rebuke them. Let them know. Right? You can let them know. You know, it's better to cut off the hand than let the whole body go into hell, man. Oh, Chris, tell me to paraphrase. Right? Hebrews 12, starting at verse 5 in NLT, right? It says, and have you forgotten the encouraging words Yahweh spoke to you as his children, right? And in Hebrew, that word children is what? Son, I mentioned earlier, right? He said, my child, don't make light of the Lord's discipline, of the Lord Yahweh discipline. Don't give up when he corrects you. For the Lord Yahweh discipline those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child. And that's what it is. You're going to get corrected. Most High he building us up as a spiritual man. Because once again, that's what's going to be that 144,000 the elect going to be the ones who set that first, how that first dominion in the kingdom. Going to set that standard, in which they're doing here today as well, right? It says, as you endure this divine discipline, remember what Yahweh is treating you. Remember that Yahweh is treating you as his own children. Who ever heard of a child who was never disciplined by his father? If Yahweh doesn't discipline you as he does all of his children, it means that you are illegitimate and are not really his children at all. Come on, man. Right? Come on, man. It says, since we respected our earthly father who disciplined us, shouldn't we submit even more to the discipline of the father of our spirits and live forever? Come on, man. Right? So you got to understand that when the spirit of Habashah comes upon, it ain't a man that's disciplined, getting on you. That's the spirit of Habashah coming upon him to correct you, man. And you can't despise it. You can't go against it. You can't despise rebuking, man. Because if the Lord not trying to correct you, scriptures tell you you're not legitimate. It says that you are illegitimate and are not really his children at all, man. You know? So don't despise correction, man. Don't despise rebuking, man. You know? And for the and brothers, hey, get on other brothers. For two are greater than one. It's for us to correct each other and help each other grow in this truth. Right? Not let bullshit things like this go out and deceive the people, man. Those are those stumbling blocks, man. But that's why you have those watchmen. And the spirit of Habashah is going to gather the elect. There's going to be no watchmen to help gather the elect. So Lord willing, right, with that being said, hope the lesson was edifying and exalting, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, and Karkadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.